Okay. Well, thank you for indulging me last week. The cold got worse. I think it was that flu, the strain of flu that wasn't in the flu shot this year. So because it got started with the coughing and sneezing, got the fever and the chills, and so today's actually the first day I left the house. So I think it's pretty much gone. You can still hear the congestion and stuff, but it's on the mend. So today's case is one of these deceptively simple cases, but it says a lot. This is case 7. Yakusan takes the high seat. Preface to these simply. Eyes, ears, nose, and tongue are each unique. The eyebrows are above the eyes. In soldering, and I had to look that up, metalwork.
Soldering?
It's like soldering,
Oh, yeah.
but it's a little more complex. It's combining metals that attach other metals, and I guess soldering is a type of soldering, but it's like one subset. So there's a whole.
I just read it as soldering. That's how you spell soldering.
So there are two different spellings?
Yeah, it's two different things. So soldering is actually the overarching process that includes soldering. Anyway.
There's like welding, soldering.
Yeah, welding is also a type of soldering. So in soldering, farming, crafts, and trades, each performs a service. Such a one is always at ease. How does a true Zen teacher proceed? Main case. Attention. For a long time, Yakusan had not ascended the high seat. The administrator monk spoke to him, saying, "The monks have been wondering about some guidance for a long time. Your Reverence, for the sake of the assembly, will you please give us a talk?" Yakusan had the gong struck, and the monks then assembled. Yakusan ascended the high seat, remained silent for a while, then got down and went back to his quarters. Later on, the administrator monk said to him, "Master, a little while ago you agreed to give us a talk on behalf of the assembly. Why didn't you give us even a single word?" Yakusan replied, "There are sutra teachers for the sutras and instructors for the commentaries. Why do you come and bother this old monk?" Appreciatory verse. Catering to an idiot's whim with bogus bills. Ryoshi and Suifu both look back at the whip's shadow. A cloud sweeps the endless sky. A crane nests in the moon. Pure cold penetrates the bones. He sleeps no more. So, this is...
Can I offer another opinion on the preface?
Sure.
I think soldering is misspelled and they meant soldiering. Soldiering, because that's a more common thing that happened in those days than soldering.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So, I mean,
They probably weren't welding in the...
Yeah, Tang Dynasty, yeah, there was a lot of metalwork going on during the 9th century.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, this is a time in China. I mean, the Tang Dynasty was quite prolific with its buildings and works and its education. There's a lot going on. During that whole period, it was probably the most prolific and profitable time for China. South China. It wasn't all of China. It only took part of China during that time. So, yeah, it's the same. And soldering is in both commentaries. So if they misspelled it, they would have misspelled it in the Cleary commentary as well.
So
commentary.
I couldn't find this in the other Blue Clip records.
It's not in the Blue Clip records. So this one is not duplicated. So not all of them are.
Okay.
So the ones that are, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So But this one is only in the book of Equanimity.
So what do you say in the second one? There's two of them.
Oh, I have two commentaries, one by Thomas Cleary, and this is one by Xixin Wei.
Oh,
So I always read them both, just to see if there are any differences between the two. There are minor differences, but not much. So nothing of high impact for this one. But this one is another monk looking for something other than what's right there. Looking, and people need something to hang on to, which is why we do these talks. There are the schools of Buddhism that tried not to do these talks or tried not to do any forms. They died out because for some just because it's part of human nature, because we are languaged. We are a languaged species. Not that other species aren't language; they might be. We just haven't learned how to understand them yet. We need words. We need forms. We need something to kind of hang on to. So when we get taught in very obvious ways, we miss it. So this is a Zen monastery. So Zen monasteries don't talk. Their practice is in silence. So Yakusan got up and taught Zen. And they missed it. But what's more important is why. Why did he miss it? So they're looking, they're begging for teaching. They're saying we need some encouragement, some guidance. Help us. And Yakusan got up and said, and gave them the guidance. But they were looking for it to look like something else. So, and how many times do we do this? How many times do we go looking for something, and because it doesn't show up the way we want it to, we miss it? So life is always there right in front of us. Life is always teaching us everything, and everything we need is right there in front of us. But how often do we miss it because it's not showing up the way we want it? That's where we get caught. And so, and he's even gentle in his response, because there are sutra teachers. There are other schools of Buddhism that teach the sutras, and so they talk about the sutras. The other teachers who talk about in the Cleary commentary, he says shastras. The shastras are commentaries on the sutras. Shishin's a little bit more contemporary with his language. Well, actually, this translation is Maizumi Roshi's translation. He uses the word commentaries, so the instructions on the commentaries. So, but this is a Zen school. Hello. So, you got, I gave you a talk on Zen. And the only way you can talk about Zen is not talking about Zen. So, but I kind of, Shishin's description of it was a little condescending, but I appreciated the condescension, is that people want toys. But my Roshi called it gimmicks. So, people, he said, Zazen is a gimmick. And it's true. It's kind of a trick. It's a way to get you to recognize and be present with life just as it is. So you need this gimmick, this form, this seating, these cushions, to get you to pay attention to what's right there in front of you. It's always right there in front of you. Your enlightenment is always there. You're sitting and breathing, or standing and breathing, or walking and breathing, or working and breathing, always there, always present. It's never not there, but we miss it every single time because we want it to show up in a certain way. We want it to feel a certain way. We want it to look a certain way. We want it to speak a certain way. And when it doesn't show up in that way, we're like, well, that's not Zen.
Or it's so boring and so mundane that you're not interested.
Yeah. And we don't appreciate it. So this, and so Yakusan went to a lot of trouble to assemble the monks, to give the monks what they wanted, and they didn't appreciate it. They didn't get it. It was like, what the hell was that? Where's our talk? Going,
It would have been fun to hear the monks talking about, how to approach Yakusan and what they haven't gotten and what they need.
well, I'm sure they don't. That's why the administrator monk, who was, and I'm not sure which position that is, because usually the monk that's closest to the teacher is their jisha, their assistant. The administrator is a separate position, so I'm not sure if this person was the jisha or if this person was the actual administrator of the monastery. But they're describing him as the administrator monk, so I'll take them at their word. So I'm sure that they went to him and said, "Could you talk to the man? We need some teaching here."
But I love this reply. Why are you talking to me?
I know.
It's perfect.
It is, yeah. I gave you the talk. Leave me alone. You should have paid attention the first time. So, and obviously they were asking because they wanted it. They needed it. They felt that they were not getting the guidance that they needed with the practice. And they expected that guidance to show up in a particular way, in words. But that's not what Zen is. Zen doesn't exist in words. It is what is before the words, before thought, before perception. It is that direct mind-to-mind transmission of reality. And that's all it is. So, Yakusan said it perfectly. So, the same thing, there were several other responses. The Buddha did the same thing. When he got it, if you go back to the first koan of this book, exact same thing. One day the world honored one ascended the platform and took a seat. Manjushri struck the sounding post and said, "When you realize the Dharma King's Dharma is just as is." At that, the world honored one descended from the platform. So he was the example of being the Dharma King, of being the Dharma. He got up, he sat down, said nothing, left, done. And if you didn't get the message, that's on you. To really pay attention to what's happening there. So Yakusan basically did the same thing. What happens, is the downfall that happens is that we think that the teaching exists in words. And that's where we get stuck. That the words get stuck in our heads, and we bring those words to the cushion, and we think those words are going to help. They're not. We don't need them, because reality is just right there in front of you all the time. And there's nothing about those words or your stories about reality that either change or help reality. Just be with reality as it is. Take care of reality just as it is. No need for any additional story or narrative about that. It is just as it is. And we say it's cliche, we say it all the time, but then we want more. What does that mean? What
Is that all there is?
is that all there is? That's the biggest. That's more of a complaint. Why isn't it something else? Why isn't it this deep, profound, extraordinary experience of lightning bolt striking, the back of your head, and you bong.
Bliss.
Yeah.
Unending bliss.
Unending bliss. A halo forms over your head. You levitate a couple inches off the ground.
Dispense wisdom.
Yeah.
It's coming out.
You're just bleeding the Dharma.
You mean it's not like that?
No, well, it is like that, but it doesn't look like anything. It looks like normal life. Normal life is this profound experience. but it doesn't need to be stuck in that level of profundity all the time. Sometimes it shows up just as, sometimes I'm sitting at home and I look up and going, oh, I gotta dust this altar. And that's what has to be done.
Yeah, what?
Dust my altar.
Oh.
It's, when you live with, one person and 3 cat boxes and 2 cats, there's dust that needs to be taken care of.
You have 2 cats and 3 cat boxes, or 2 cats?
Well, because I had 4 cats.
Oh.
And so I didn't get rid of. You're supposed to have 1 cat box per cat. But
Really?
Yeah. That's
Well, I'm short 1 cat box.
So I just didn't have space for 4 cat boxes. So, and then when the 2 older cats died, I didn't get rid of the 3rd one. So there's dust. Things that's what has to be taken care of. It's the dust on my altar need to be dusted. And we think that that's not Zen. We think that it's not profound enough. But everything, there's nothing outside of this practice. Everything is this practice. And paying attention is what this practice is about. Taking care of what's right there in front of you all the time. So Yakusan, that's what he was teaching. That's what he was saying. With no need to say it in words, just demonstrating, just being present, just giving the students what they ask for. Here are my words. Silence. This is what the practice is. So be present with that. Stop trying to find something else, because that's where the suffering is in wanting it to be something else.
That reminds me of the Joshi's WaYu bowls.
Yeah. Just do the
We're
next
coming
thing.
to, I guess, a little later. It's in this book.
Yeah, it's in this book.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was in the last book. It was in the moment con. So we've already done it. I think it comes up in this book again. I'm not sure. But yeah, as I was slowly descending into more and more illness over this past week, I was like, okay, now this is all I need to do is just sit here and take care of this.
Yeah.
Cancel everything else.
Because you knew your Kaiser work wasn't piling up
Yeah, exactly.
30 miles away.
It wasn't. My Yokoji work was piling up, but because I kept running out of Kleenex, so my job was getting 2 boxes of Kleenex and emptying the trash. So sometimes that's all it is. It's just take care of what's right there. Other times there are deep and profound things going on. Major suffering that needs to be paid attention to and handled. Other times nothing's going on, and just take care of what that is, reality just as it is, and stop trying to make it something else. That's where the suffering is. The suffering is in thinking it should be some other way, and it can only be the way it is. So I like the way he ends this. Yakusan was hitting his monks with dharma arrows, and most of them did not feel a thing. And so, because they expected some deep, profound. Yakusan was one of the more famous teachers from this period. His teacher was Sekito Kisan, and I guess when he was at Sekito's monastery, he was sitting for a long period of time. And Sekito came up and said, "What are you doing?" And his response was, "I'm doing absolutely nothing." And then Sekito says, "Then you're sitting idly." And he says, "Well, if I was sitting idly, I'd be doing something." Because the minute you classify it, then you make it into something. And Sekito was impressed. So this next question Sekito asked him was, "Well, then what are you not doing?" And his response was, 1,000 Buddhas still don't know. Okay. Segito said, okay, now you're pretty good at this. Spam call. Goodbye. So, questions, comments, experiences? You're shaking your head, Kirk. Nothing. Okay.
It seems like this is one of the series that we've been, it's sort of all, last 3 or 4 have kind of been in the same vein.
Yeah.
Of trying to shake us from wanting something that looks a certain way, and leading us away from just dealing with what is and being present with that and taking care of that.
Yeah.
So it's another one, like I said, and Joshu's goals is coming up too. It's another one of those.
Yeah.
Just watch your goal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, when Joshua Bowles, I can't remember what did the monk say, because the monk went in with this really profound question, and he was expecting something. I think he was trying to impress.
something that Joshu said, have you had your breakfast yet?
Yeah.
The monk said, yes. Joshu said, then watch your goal.
Yeah. Which is, when you think about it, you think about it in terms of monastic life, the way they ate was an oryoki. So he would have already had washed his bowls. So did he not realize that was the next thing? But what the point is, just take care of what's next, and without trying to make it into something else. And stop trying. Don't come here and expect some profound, blessing from on high, because there is no blessing from on high. The blessing is what you bring, where you sit. That's your truth. That's your reality. But what are we missing when we are trying to make it into something else? When we're looking for something else, or trying to find it in some other teaching, some other way. It's right there in front of you. And sometimes, the gift of being sick is that sometimes you can't do anything else. Just be.
As long as it's not hallucination.
Well, it's true. Could be that. Yeah. But even with that, if you can't get out of it, you got to go with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it does force you to see things in a new way when you're stuck at home.
Yeah.
You can't. Your mind's a little cloudy anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a little sick this week too. I'm just not doing this. I'm not doing that. Just gonna stay home.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't. I'm sure that they think that I deliberately didn't want to come to Christmas dinner. But my family, they're all old and sick and dying. The last thing I want to do is, not only to, despite, also not wanting to drive in the rain all the way to Riverside, but also not give them whatever this was, on top of everything else that they're dealing with, because it's not a pretty picture, but part of me was guilty because it's like, maybe this could be the last time I see someone living. But that could be true anytime. So I thought, okay, stop the drama and just find another box of Kleenex. So, yeah, this was a standalone. This is not duplicated in the other books. But a very, very simple one, and not terribly profound in any ways, but profound in its non-profundity. It's a very simple approach.
It's like so refreshing for me. It's simple, like you said, they had a struggle with it. It really is.
Yeah.
There's stuff up on my refrigerator at home that I've been looking at for the last 2 months, and hopefully I'll go home now and take care of it. Take care of what's in front of me.
Yeah.
It's so simple, and yet I struggle with it.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah, they're all distracted.
Yeah, we all do.
Yes.
There's things that we haven't got to. We got 3 more days.
I have 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, you did this. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. That's the temptation is, I'll watch this YouTube clip, then I'll get to it. And then 3 hours later, YouTube is still running.
The last 3 weeks, my ex tried to do a order to finish a painting that she did not create for her apartment. And I skip a day out and almost every night. You gotta do that, you gotta do that. 3 hours later, YouTube, not this stuff. I was sitting up with her Christmas Eve, and she scrambled to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right there in front of you. Distraction.
Yeah.
I'm retired, but I still have a to-do list.
I know. What's up with that?
So this is to write it down. Cross them out.
Yeah, I do like, crossing off my to-do list. It keeps me focused. So, and there are, not that entertainment is bad, but if it's all that you're doing, and to the deficit of everything else, there's the problem. So, yeah, I have to be with me because it's so easy. There's no one is making me go do something anymore. I have to sit down and map that out myself. And so after leaving Kaiser, I realized how disorganized I was because corporate America did all that organization for me. I went to work slotted into their computer system, their calendar, their way of doing things. And I never had to create it myself. So after 47 years of thinking, and I think that one of the top things on my evaluations over the years is how incredibly organized you are. You're very detail oriented, blah, 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 blah. And then when it was all gone, I was like, lies, lies. And I believed that about myself, but then I had to just regroup and just find a system that worked for me. It's really taking me these last couple of years to create a system that gets me out of bed and gets me, doing stuff. Part of the system was saying yes to too many things, so I've got to, dial that back.
It's so fascinating because I pride myself on being organized, but now I'm thinking it's the school. I'm just hooked into the school organization, and that's going to be interesting when I retire. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really that's interesting.
Yeah, part of me knew it, but being in it was like, I realized that your whole identity is around, how you functioned in a particular, arena and or milieu, and then when that's gone, who are you? And
Yeah, school life is very rigid. We have bells, we have this, we have the procedures, and now I'm curious about retirement because now that's really interesting.
yeah, those bells won't be there.
Right, exactly. That's the reason to get up, and the good thing about work for me, even though it's stressful, is it gives me purpose to get up in the morning. So try and find that purpose in your retirement.
Yeah, yeah, and you can do it. I mean, it's easy enough to do.
Where will the ball land?
I know. But self-discipline is, hard. I probably would not have made a good entrepreneur, if I hadn't had corporate America to kind of keep me busy and, save money for me because I'm, it's very passive in that. So I didn't see it, I didn't spend it. The only reason I have, retirement at all is I had all that stuff deducted from my paycheck without ever having to look at it. So, but I probably would have figured it out if I.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, I have my own schedule. I generate my own work. I mean, the court does it to some extent, but less and less. You show up at court now, they give you a trial date. That's it. So there's no more, do this here, do this there. So we have to kind of make our own,
Yeah.
function, so we can get things done that we know. So I'm kind of watching, now that I've got cases with other lawyers, watching kind of what they're doing. It's interesting, the amount of procrastination from my perspective that they engage in. Because I see, we have things set like in May and June, and I know that things set in May and June for trial, you have to be like well into discovery now. You can't be like waiting until 3 months to start discovering, but nobody's doing anything. So it's like, whoa. I'm just watching it go by, but I know, it's so long, I know what has to be done.
Yeah.
But I'm no less a procrastinator than you two, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You figure it out. You generate your own sort of.
Yeah, you figure out.
Systems.
And I think that there's a trap on the other side as well, because I discovered during the last session, I suddenly discovered I was in charge of the Tokudo ceremony, and I am running around looking for all this stuff. And I'm like, why is this not all in one place?
Yeah.
So, and 160 acres is just a lot of running around to do. And I'm asking people, and I'm trying to research in the old sutra books, because nobody knew where the head shaving chant was. We do it every single Tokudo, but and I remember, because I had been in charge of a Tokudo years ago, and I had made cardstock copies of the chant and put them somewhere that I would remember and didn't, and they're missing, so no one's used them. So it's not, we don't do Tokudo very often, but when we do, there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be in place. So sometimes just taking care of things in the moment, leaves you not prepared. So I have a whole box. After I got home, I went home and ordered all the stuff that's needed for head shaving for Tokudo. Bought a nice pine box, and I'm taking it back up to Yokoji this next week, and it will be there maybe years before we do Tokudo again. But at least it'll be there. All the chants there, the head shaving stuff and equipment, because we had no clippers, we had no shavers, we had no shave people. I'm like, seriously, what does it take to?
Well, assuming you remember where you put the pine box.
Yes, it's sitting on my dining room table right now with all the stuff that I ordered. The advantage of Amazon is just as soon as I got home, I just went down the list. This is everything we didn't have, but I loaned them my razor, and I never got it back. So I have no idea where that razor went. Anyway, so sometimes you do have to think ahead. You do have to take care of things that are not necessarily happening right now, to make sure that they are in place. And I think that's appropriate, because there was another box up there that it's for the head trainee ceremony, which we haven't done in a while either. But everything they need for that ceremony is in that box. So I patterned it after that. It's like, even if we don't need it or use it for a while, it will all be there, and someone doesn't have to now run around and look.
So it sounds like there should be like a ritual room where all the ritual stuff is kept.
And yeah, there is,
Space.
and some of that is there. I mean, it is centralized to a certain extent, but it's gotten lost over the years. Probably because it's just not being done very often anymore. But anyway, all right. Anything else before we close? Final words. Final silences. Questions. Comments. All right. Then I'm going to go home and go back to bed. Thank you, everybody. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them.
Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to put an end to them. The dharmas are boundless. I vow to master them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to attain it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to put an end to them. The dharmas are boundless. I vow to master them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to attain it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to put an end to them. The dharmas are boundless. I vow to master them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to attain it.
All right, a few announcements. There, as far as I know, there is no Dharma talk tomorrow. The center is closed and for the holidays. Opening again on Monday for the New Year's session. The New Year's session runs from Monday the 29th through the 1st, ending with two New Year's ceremonies that happen every year. On New Year's Eve, there's a fire ceremony borrowed from the Native Americans, in which we burn those hindrances, the things that we want not to take into the new year. Chanting service, and then we sit through the new year, and after the new year, they ring the bell 12 times, and then we say Happy New Year, have a glass of champagne, and go to bed. Then New Year's morning, we have another fire ceremony in which we write down and burn the intentions for the new year, and put those out to the universe and hopefully manifest them in 2026. And then session is ended after that. So that runs for this week, and then the center is back open the 2nd. So it is on the 2nd. So Friday, New Year's is on Thursday. Friday, yeah. Then the center's back open on the 2nd, and then the regular schedule starts up again after that. So that's what's happening this week. I will be there for a session, and that's it. That's all I can think of. Any other announcements? Nothing.
There we go, end of the year. If they would like to.
Which, you guys, just too much. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's heavy. Shall I open this now?
Yeah.
Okay. Love the bag. Can I keep that too? Can I keep the bag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bag better than
I know. These things, because I'm constantly, I don't know why it is, I'm constantly carrying just stuff all the time. And I'm constantly looking for, just a bag to put stuff in. This is so nice, thank you. Oh wow, beautiful card. Who's the artist? Aki Sogabe? Beautiful. This is. As it is. Much gratitude to you, because it's what gets me out of bed on Saturday mornings. Because I've already told you, I would do this anyway, but I would be in bed doing it. That's where I love to read.
Oh, keep it.
Don't
keep it.
Keep it that way. Okay.
Oh, this is.
Oh, okay. It's the whole procedure. Chinese puzzle box.
Yeah,
I see. Sorry, it still has to go this way?
no, for,
Oh, this way.
no, to the.
Other way.
Yeah, where.
That way. Okay.
Fortunately, it's nothing unbreakable.
Okay, good. I was thinking it might be liquid or something. Indestructible tape. Oh my. Oh, look at this. Oh, no wonder it's so heavy. Oh. This is gorgeous. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you. This is absolutely beautiful. One of the old Buddhas is getting replaced. Ah.
It just reminded me of perfect devotion.
Ah. But that's, that's what it takes. It's just trying to be consistent is the hardest thing. Because most days I'd just rather not. Thank you very much. I will treasure this as we'll go in a place of prominence on one of the altars. I'll decide which one.
Good. Certainly will. Thank you for all the time you spend here. We don't even see half of it, I'm sure.
Well, there's, the only thing you don't see is the.
I also got you something to go with it.
Oh, goodness. Oh, thank you. This is heavy duty. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
You probably have a lot of altars, maybe candles.
I do. Well, not a lot. I have 3. Which is probably too many. Why do I need to? I look like a born-again Buddhist when you walk away.
The only thing I was thinking is, do the cats ever get too close to the flames?
No, that's never been a problem, interestingly enough.
They're aware of the danger? So they don't jump up on
It's just not, And the way they're situated, they're not easy to jump on. And I guess there's nothing up there that they're curious about. But they've never jumped on the altars. They sit with me, so they're next to the altars all the time. But they've never. This is perfect because I do have a beautiful glass candle holder that sits on the main altar that I sit in front of, and this will fit perfectly on it. Thank you very much. It's beautiful. So I hope I did not give you this cold as a gift for. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people have had it. So I'm not alone in my suffering. All right. Like I said, thank you, everybody.
Good here.
All right, thanks, Kirk. See you next week. Yeah, we'll be here next week because it's between, sessions and between all that. But so we'll be here. We'll be back.
So you coming next Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.